Hello, everyone. It is so nice to see you and meet you. I am so excited to have you here. I have shared this with my Facebook and Twitter group because so many of you have asked me recently about Bitcoin. And I am not one of the major players, but I am a Bitcoin femme fatale that I feel like I am deserving of that title because I definitely know more than the people in my circle that are females, minus a couple of females that I recently found out are more invested into Bitcoin, and they are people who had Bitcoin before and sold it, or they got scared and dumped it years ago, and boy, are they kicking themselves now. Some of you may have seen the news. You watch things like Tesla is going skyrocketing. You've seen that Elon Musk has bought into Bitcoin. There's just left and right, you're hearing more and more and more about this. And I just really want to be able to share with you about some tips and tricks and things because it is doable and it is possible for you to actually have Bitcoin right now in your own repertoire. So for me, and I want a disclaimer by saying that I am not paid by any of these organizations or groups. I do social media influencing, and I do brand and product influencing, but none of these products or brands or anyone that has paid me anything for this video, at least. Who knows? Maybe afterwards they will. But right now, this is just me. This is my take, and this is how you can get into it. On your phone, there is this great app here called Cash App. And if you go into Cash App, download this onto your phone, and it is a great app for you to have a card, for you to manage your money. I like it because Cash App works for me to be able to have my budget spending. This much from the bank account goes into Cash App. But even more so, right down here on the bottom, it tells me how much is in my Cash App, some information here, a little $sign, and then right here is a little Bitcoin ticker. And if you press on this, it will take you to Bitcoin, and you will see that in this spot, I don't have a lot of Bitcoin. It's not a big deal, but it's a little something that I liked to try. I wanted to see how it worked. I'm from the group that did it the hard way. My husband taught me how to do it. I jumped on to Exchange. We had Coinbase. We also used Gemini. I loaded Authy on my phone, which is a two-factor authentication device that gives you the codes for that, and it gave me the code that I needed to protect myself onto Gemini, and I really liked that. But it was a lot to learn, and it was cumbersome. Luckily, during the time that I was learning this, I was lying in bed sleeping or resting most of the time because I was dealing with cancer a couple of times. So in 2016 and then back in 2019. And right now I don't know, but lots of different details about that. That's not why we're here. What I want to show you is that this is a great opportunity for what I would say the lay person, so to speak, who doesn't understand exchanges, who's scared to make a copy of their driver's license or make a copy of their passport and to be able to utilize the exchanges. They just want to get in, they want to start having something. And yes, Bitcoin is down right now, right now as we speak. So for me, this is a time worth buying. But even for you, as it goes down and dips down, that of course is an opportune time to buy. If you think of Bitcoin in a stock mindset, when it's low, you buy, when it's high, you sell. But what I would suggest is, because I see Bitcoin on the rise, even though it's down right now, it's going to go back up. And while many people are naysayers and saying, oh, I don't see this as something that the general population is going to end up doing or utilizing, I disagree, because I've been in the Bitcoin market for a while and I do see it going up. And even last year, when I was making mask after mask after mask for the community and for the pandemic, I had people asking me, do you take Bitcoin? Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. Here's my Bitcoin number. There's so many ways to utilize that. And my husband got me turned on to Andreas Antonopoulos, and also some people from Casa, which help you to protect your keys. And we have done a lot of those type of things. And there's a lot of Pompliano. There's so many different people out there. And when you start connecting with Andreas on Twitter and on YouTube, you'll see that he has a lot of other connections that will help you to understand. And there's so many people out there who are talking to newbies, which is what I'm doing today. Those people are just like, what? I just want in on this and I don't know how. For me, this is a great way. I just was able to get a family member of mine onto Cash App, and I showed them and talked them through, even over the phone. I didn't even visually have to show them. I talked them through over the phone. Press this. Here's the information. Here's how you buy. This is the information that you need. And what's cool is that it shows you the 1 day ratio, what it is in a week, how it functions in a month, how it functions in a year, and the overall. And this number right here in Cash App, which is very hard to see on the phone, but it's the first one off to the left, that tells you the Bitcoin price right now. The little arrow that's showing the up right here next to that is telling you what the difference is, that it's up, like today, it's up 440.17% in the past year. But if I went through a day, it's up 1.2429. Of course, it's constantly fluctuating. So as I'm talking, it changes 1.2, 1.24, 1.29. And those things are great because it tells you what that is. Down below here, you can just click buy or sell, and forgive me because it's very hard for the computer to see that, but this is the buy, this is your sell, and you just go in and you buy the increments that you want. You buy, do you want $1? Do you want $10? How much do you buy? So you don't have to have $40,000. That's the funniest thing that I hear, is because even when I didn't really understand Bitcoin, I understood enough to know I didn't have to buy $40,000 or $10,000, whatever it was at that time. This is a great way. You buy Bitcoin in fractions, and there's going to be a point that there's only so many Bitcoin out in the world, out in us, the universe, so to speak, for us to buy. And when it gets to that, then those people who own the Bitcoin will be selling the Bitcoin to you. And there is some of that happening now with buys and sells. And when you buy, you are buying it differently when you're buying it on these exchanges versus buying it straight, just give me the market price. But there is a way that you too can have it. You can have a portion of it. You can say, I want $1. I want to do, up at the top, it says a standard one-time order. Or it says, okay, buy this much daily, or buy this much weekly, or every 2 weeks, buy this amount. But if you just want to try it out, you can hit that standard one-time order and select how much do you want to buy. Do you want to buy $1 of it? Maybe just $1 and see how it goes. Come on, it's $1. You get a taco at Taco Bell for $1. You can get something off the Wendy's menu for $1, and then it's gone. What if your $1, as Bitcoin grows, it grew and you were able to make a little bit of money? Now, other disclaimer that I want to talk to you about is that this is a capital gains. This is something that I hear people say, well, I really want to get invested in Bitcoin, but I'm worried that it's going to affect my income, or I worry that it's going to affect my overall, or I have Medicare, or I have SSDI. I'm not fully versed in that, but I will tell you that I recently tried to find out information about that and apply, and we don't qualify because it is something that does affect that. So do consider that. Make sure that you talk to people who are on that side of the know. You do have to claim this on your taxes at the end of the year. I mean, come on, you are making money. So you have to claim those losses. You have to claim those gains. You have to claim that. So make sure that you've talked to a tax attorney, that you've talked to someone about that, because I'm not your girl for that. But this is really just the easiest way. And then down here at the bottom, what's really cool is in the Cash App, it tells you all the Bitcoin news, what's going on. So what's going on recently? MicroStrategy buys 1.026 billion of Bitcoin. Woohoo! Thank you, MicroStrategy. So that's great news. That's from Bitcoin Magazine. As Bitcoin surges, investors find Invictus Capital C10. There's just so much to find out. And then you can see down here the Bitcoin owned, price per Bitcoin, and what the Bitcoin symbol is. And then it tracks down here your activity. So it tracks what Bitcoin that you have. So at the end of the year, it'll even give you the tax document right here in Cash App, so you don't have to worry about it. I love how they explain it. It's very simple. Bitcoin is a radically new way to store and transact value. Unlike normal financial networks, Bitcoin is able to cooperate without the central authorities or trusted administrators. That makes Bitcoin the first ever open and borderless currency. One of the things that I learned early on is that if you don't own the keys to your money, you don't own your money. And when you put those in different institutions like banking institutions, etc., you don't own that. You are basically giving it to them, they're loaning it out, and they're playing around with your money. And recently I tried to close an account and I couldn't even fully close my account because the bank still had $5 of my money. And they wouldn't even just, okay, we'll give it to you to put in this account so you can transfer it. No, they have to send me a check. Seriously, if it was all in Bitcoin, they just send it over to me. That's something that's really cool about this. You can sell Bitcoin in here, but the benefit is that you can also use it in here. But you do need to understand that aspect if you're going to use it. I'm talking about using Cash App right now as a means to start buying Bitcoin. There's so many other YouTubes that have so much more information about this, but I want to help you and help my friends who keep asking me, how do I buy Bitcoin? How do I buy Bitcoin? This is a great way to do that. Yes, you may have heard about Robinhood and eToro and some of these other ones. We actually feel very strong with Fidelity. We feel very strong that they're a good company and they're not going to screw us over. We've been able to utilize them, and they didn't stop the GameStop buys. They are not trying to sell people's Bitcoin. I don't know if you heard, but eToro was just, boom, selling people's Bitcoin for them. They didn't talk to them. They didn't ask them. No, you don't have control over that because they had their Bitcoin in those areas. So be cautious of those things. Make sure that you do your homework. But if you really want a quick and dirty and simple, easy way, that is one of the ways. Now, one of the cool things is maybe you say, well, I don't have Cash App, but I have PayPal. Guess what? PayPal also allows you to buy Bitcoin. So if you look down in here, this little button, it says scan pay, which is your QR code reader, send request, and then crypto. And that's what's so cool is right here, you can buy and sell cryptocurrency on PayPal just as well. Cash App and PayPal also have cards, so that way you can utilize those cards and you can use them. And this is another way that I would say a layman, so to speak, someone who isn't invested in the exchanges and the big wigs, so to speak, in the Bitcoin world can start buying Bitcoin. So here's my advice to you. Think about all of the things I told you. Google how to buy Bitcoin. Look up different videos like myself or other people. Go to Andreas Antonopoulos, look him up, and I will find his link. And if I'm able to, I will put that into the chat below for you to be able to look at. There is ways that you right now can buy Bitcoin. You don't have to buy the thousands and thousands of dollars. You're buying a fraction. Remember fractions in high school? Yeah. You're buying that 0.000 blank, blank, blank number of that fraction of a Bitcoin. So you too can have Bitcoin. And remember that there's going to be a huge supply and demand as this gets bigger. So while it's down, consider buying this. Consider having a little bit. Consider maybe even buying some for your child as a trust or something that you can do. There's also ways like through Fidelity that you can buy Bitcoin and have it in retirement or have it in a trust account. There's lots of different ways in other companies. I hear that maybe Charles Schwab has that and some others. I just don't use that company, so I don't know much about them. But do your due diligence. If you're watching this video and you're considering buying Bitcoin, you most likely, I would think, are old enough to buy Bitcoin. You have a bank account, you have the means. So invest in it. Give it a try. What do you have to lose for $1? It's $1. Yeah, I could see if you had to buy $40,000 worth, or if it was the last $300 you have. Okay, don't put the last $300 you have into Bitcoin, but maybe take 10% out of that and buy some Bitcoin with it and help yourself. Think about how this could help homeless people. Think about how this could help our world, how this could help our nation if we were able to be more self-sustainable, if we didn't have the big wigs out there on the government side telling us what we can do with our money, what we can't do, and the banks slapping our hands for wanting to have our own keys. It's up to you to do the due diligence. I just want to set you on a road that you may be able to see and that you may be able to answer for yourself. Many of my friends, family involved, have asked, okay, I keep hearing you talk about Bitcoin. I know that that's something that you and your family are interested in. I want to play. I have a fear of missing out. How do I do that? My two choices are Cash App and consider PayPal. I use Cash App for the fun side, but we do also use other things like I have my Mycelium on my phone, which is another way that you can utilize Bitcoin and things of that nature. I will show that to you if I can find it. Mycelium. And yes, it asks for my code, which is nice. I'm not going to show you because you don't need to see that, but it's a great app for you to try out and give it a try as well if you're a little bit deeper in and want to do a little bit more. Yes, there are exchanges, and if you want my recommendation, I really like Gemini, and I like that because I feel a lot safer and the fees are a lot less. And Coinbase is something that most people use, but the fees are kind of high and you do pay a fee. So be looking into that. Be a responsible adult, do your due diligence, but maybe, just maybe, that'll give you a little insight on Bitcoin from a femme fatale, the Bitcoin femme fatale, to check it out and see whether or not it's something that interests you. Remember, you do have to pay taxes on it and it can affect your income. So please, please, please don't just run out and buy thousands of dollars of Bitcoin without doing your research. Be smart adults and do your research. Do your due diligence. I'm telling you, Trisha Trixie is wagging her finger at you. Be responsible adults. But I know that you will at least take this information, and if you're someone who knows a lot more than me, great. Put your link in below, and that's awesome. I'm just a lone wolf over here trying to answer some questions for my friends and family, and hopefully any of you who may have happened upon this site. And let's see, where will Bitcoin take us? Who knows? It's the end of February in 2021. Where will it take us next year to February 2022? Only you know that answer for yourself. Hopefully this helped you. I hope that you have a great day, and hopefully I'll be able to put some more videos together to answer some questions and maybe be a help out there for those who are just trying to get some understanding from just a general user, just someone who's not way up here in the top, just a normal Joe Jane like you. That's who I am. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope that you all have a fabulous, fabulous weekend and a fabulous 2021. Trisha Trixie, over and out.